Well, good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to this ceremony. My name's Mark Gower and I'll be emceeing the ceremony this morning. If you're able, would you please stand for the arrival of our official guests? Mrs Suresh Mullen, MP, Member for Jordan, representing the Premier of Queensland and Minister for Trade, the Honourable Anastasia Palaszczuk, MP. Dr Mark Robinson, MP, Member for Udjuru, representing the Leader of the Opposition and Shadow Minister for Trade, Mrs Deb Frecklington, MP. Associate Professor John Harden, AM, Chairman, the Order of Australia Association, Queensland Division. Ladies and gentlemen, please join with me in welcoming our official guests. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Please be seated and we'll await the arrival of His Excellency. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Again, if you're able, would you please stand for the arrival of the Governor of Queensland and Mrs de Jersey. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Please be seated. Your Excellency, with your permission, I'll begin. His Excellency the Governor will present the following Australian Honours and Awards. Appointed a Member of the Order of Australia in the General Division, Ms Susan Margaret Forrester. For significant service to business through governance and strategic roles, and as an advocate for women, including as Chair, National Veterinary Care, and Director, Uniting Care, Queensland. Mr Daniel Matthew Kelly. For significant service to international humanitarian emergency response organisations, including World Vision International and World Vision Australia. Mr Thomas Harrington Maguire. For significant service to the tourism and hospitality industry and to the community, including as Director and co-owner, Maguire's Hotel Group, and President of the Australian Hotels Association and the Australian Hotels Association, Queensland. Dr John Edward O'Hagan. For significant service to medical science and innovation and to the community with organisations including the Queensland Academy of Arts and Sciences, the Queensland Museum, the Royal Society of Queensland, the Australian Scientific Industry Association and the Australian and New Zealand Association for the Advancement of Science. Dr Roger Conrad Wilkinson. For significant service to medicine as a cardiovascular surgeon and to the community with organisations including the Royal Brisbane and Women's Hospital, WorkCover Queensland, Heart Foundation of Australia, the Cardiac Society of Australia and New Zealand, and the University of Queensland. Awarded the Medal of the Order of Australia in the General Division, Mr Brian Edward Bloxham. For service to the real estate industry and to the community, including as the donor of the original helicopter for the Queensland Westpac Lifesaver Rescue Helicopter Service. Mrs Mary Annette Bronson. For service to the community, particularly as a church organist with the Immaculate Heart of Mary Catholic Parish. Mrs Lenore Burton. For service to youth, including as founder and director of Ebenezer Australia. Mr Grant Thomas Cassidy. For service to the tourism and hospitality industry with organisations including Cassidy Hospitality Group, Gladstone Port Corporation, Capricorn Enterprise and Tourism and Events Queensland. Mr Peter James Connigan. For service to the community of Yeppoon, including in a range of roles with St Vincent de Paul, Yeppoon. Mrs Catherine Ann George. For service to music through school ensembles, including with Central Queensland University and the Central Queensland Conservatorium of Music and the Queensland Curriculum and Assessment Authority. Mrs Joy Lorraine Godfrey. For service to the community through charitable initiatives, including as coordinator, Giving from the Heart. Mr Bernard Jan Hoosman. For service to music through brass and concert bands, including the Brisbane Citizens Band, the Brisbane Concert Orchestra, the Brisbane Symphonic Band, and the St Lucia Orchestra. Mr Grantley James Geezer. For service to the print media as a journalist, including as senior sports writer to the Courier Mail and Sunday Mail Queensland, and as a boxing writer.
Thank you very much. Thank you, sir. Really appreciate it.
Mrs Elaine Elizabeth Maydill. For service to the community of Wondai through a large number of organisations, including as President and Curator, Management Committee, Wondai Regional Art Gallery. Mr Donald Ian Neander. For service to aged welfare with organisations including Southern Cross Care Australia, Southern Cross Care Queensland and Catholic Health Australia. Mr Brian John Reardon. For service to the community through a range of organisations including the Lions Club of Roma, Freemasons Queensland and Roma Information Centre. Mr Bruce Alexander Shearer. For service to the community through social welfare initiatives with organisations including St Vincent de Paul and Gold Coast Little Theatre. Mrs Jocelyn Slatter. For service to veterans and their families with organisations including the Mitchelton Mitchie Day Club, Gaythorne RSL Club and Gaythorne Sub-Branch Return and Services League of Australia, Gaythorne Legacy Care Group and Gaythorne Bowls Friendship Club. Mr Raymond Jack Stewart. For service to the community of Brisbane with organisations including Brisbane City Council, Brisbane Botanic Gardens, Mount Cootha, Scouts Queensland and the Botanical Artists Society of Queensland. Dr. Gregory John Thompson, for service to sport through a range of organisations including the Western Magpie Australian Football Club, Tookoomul Bloods Football Club and West Brisbane Cricket Club. Your Excellency, that concludes this morning's awards. Could I invite you to address the recipients and their guests?
Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, girls and boys, it is with great pleasure that Kay and I warmly welcome you to your Government House today for this important investiture ceremony. I at once acknowledge the traditional custodians of these lands, the Turrbal and Yagara peoples. I pay my respect to their elders past and present, with encouragement to their young emerging leaders. May I begin by congratulating all our recipients and commending them on their achievements, those achievements which we honour today. Investiture ceremonies like this one are one of Kay's and my favourite duties in my role as Governor of Queensland. Too often our headlines are filled with what is not going well in society. Moments such as this, however, where a cross-section of our community comes together to celebrate great achievements, remind us of the hard work that all too often goes unseen. I'm heartened to read and hear your commendations and to see the diversity of fields from which you all come. Community services, including veterans support, medicine and healthcare, humanitarian services and charities, church and advocacy groups, organisations which support youth, housing, education, sport, music, journalism, tourism and innovation. What a list, what a list. Collectively, you are here as representatives of your community, representatives who have gone above and beyond, who have excelled, be it in technical excellence, compassion and generosity of spirit. And while I'm hardly surprised by the diverse fields for which Queenslanders have been recognised with these honours today, I'm humbled by those in this room of people before me who have dedicated their time and energy to the service of and betterment of their communities and of other people. Today we live in a highly connected world where information is readily at our fingertips. We can know what places on the other side of the world look like with a simple search. We can read and translate books from ancient libraries instantly. We can solve friendly family table dinner disputes with relative ease. But do we know our neighbours? Do we recognise those in the community who are in need? Do we stop to find out more from a person experiencing difficulty and hardship? Workers and advocates in our communities, such as yourselves, are of huge importance. You serve as points of human connection, bringing people together, looking beyond your personal needs and desires to help build stronger and more connected communities. Dare I say, you help make this world a better place for all of us. You provide space, structure and inspiration within your communities to help us remember and find the true value in being part of something greater than ourselves. Your hard work inspires us and others in the community to serve in whatever capacity we have to offer. I say to you, well done, and I urge you to continue your marvellous service. To that end, I encourage you to wear the symbols of your achievements with pride so that others may be inspired by your example. I think it's also fitting to pay special thanks and acknowledgement to your guests here this morning, friends, family, loved ones and supporters. You are also deserving of our great thanks and appreciation because you are part of a network which has guided, supported and assisted our recipients and no doubt will continue to do so. I'm sure that it has been with your support that our recipients have had the opportunity, frankly, to excel. In concluding formalities, I invite you all to enjoy the hospitality of Government House and encourage you to talk to your fellow recipients as you celebrate your collective achievements. Thank you.
Thank you, Your Excellency. Ladies and gentlemen, again, if you're able, would you please stand? Your Excellency, can I invite you and Mr. Jersey to retire momentarily while we organise the recipients for a photo? Official guests, could I invite you to follow Commander Tedman out onto the lawns, please?